to the GDQ Hotfix. This is Crosshair, the show that brings you runs with bullets. First-person shooters, third-person shooters, shmups, bullet hells, lasers, rockets, grenades, snake, and shotgun shells. If it's got bullets in it, it's got a home here at Crosshair. My name is Dangerous, I'm your host, and if you've got a run that you think qualifies for this or any of our other GDQ Hotfix shows, head on over to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix and fill out that run submission form, and you may end up on a future episode of the GDQ Hotfix. Folks, when I was younger, I enjoyed a little espionage game where you played a soldier and you snuck around and took enemies down in the middle of darkness. But enough about Splinter Cell. Today we're going to be showing off Metal Gear Solid. So I brought in two really talented runners to show off two entries from the Metal Gear Solid series. We're going to be wrapping up today with Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance with Theory UK. But before that, a good speed friend of mine is here, Pythonicus, to show us Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. Pythonicus, take it away.
Hello. Thank you, Mr. Dangerous. Yes, it is Peace Walker. Also, it's Splinter Cell. Man, what a good game. I saw that coming from a mile away, and I'm still happy about it. Anyway, yes, this is Peace Walker. This is the second of two mainline PSP games. Portable Ops counts. I will fight you. But the category is a whole mouthful, and I'll be able to explain that as we get into it, since the first mission is a whole lot of just running around. But before we do that, I do have my good friend Metal Glenn Solid. Glenn, how you doing today?
I'm here for the memes that is Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker.
Oh, memes there will be. And as a formality, how much do you know about this game and this speed run?
Yes and no at the same time.
Perfect. All right. So, without any further ado, let's get into this. Peace Walker, not Portable Ops, Peace Walker is separated into a bunch of different missions. We are going through the first ending, so we have about 31 missions to get through. That being said, each time we complete a mission, we'll be kicked out to this menu. So as soon as I start this mission, we will start the timer. So if we can get started in 3, 2, 1, and go.
Good luck.
Thank you. All right, so as I mentioned, Peace Walker is divided into missions, and those missions are then subset into chapters. Much like if you've seen Metal Gear Solid 5, it's the same sort of deal. This one did it first to pave the way, kind of. So the category today is a first ending, so we're going through the first set of credits. It is New Game Plus, which technically doesn't exist, but we are dragging all of our high-end equipment through all of the first chapter missions. And S rank, which means that I am going for S ranks in every single mission, which is a similar kind of restriction set to like your Big Boss or Foxhound ranked.
Speaking of Big Boss.
Big Boss. We're not going to see him a whole lot this run, actually. So, like I said, I count Portable Ops as a mainline title, despite the fact that barely anyone else does. But one of the things that Portable Ops did for the series is that it allowed you to recruit soldiers for use in various different little units here and there. And so Peace Walker brought that forward, and basically we have...
honestly.
Yeah, well, I mean, it brought the development, but now it's in your control instead of just being random.
Good.
But the main thrust of all of that is that I have some very powerful soldiers who are actually better than Snake, if you can believe that. Oops.
Whoa.
Yeah, they are better than Snake. They're faster, they aim better, they shoot better. They're just all around pretty cool. Snake is also pretty cool, but not as cool, you know. So, but yes, I have very powerful equipment, I have very powerful soldiers, and we're going to blast through this game as quickly as humanly possible, and that is basically the point of this category. And to actually answer that question in chat, this is HD collection. However, I'm playing on the Japanese standalone download edition for a couple of reasons. Mainly because my disk drive decided it wanted to not accept disks anymore. So there's that.
Sad.
Rip.
Yeah, it's okay. It's fixable. It's a solvable problem.
Oh, yeah, by the way, if you thought guards in Metal Gear were blind, you have not seen Peace Walker.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's just super enticing.
Yeah. So another thing that Peace Walker brought from Portable Ops are these comic book styled cutscenes, which I genuinely very much love. But as a bit of a difference, you might be hearing that beeping noise. That's me trying to skip the cutscene. I cannot because this particular cutscene has a QTE. So Peace Walker does have a few of these throughout the runtime, and we're just gonna make quick work of them as possible.
This is definitely 2011.
Oh yeah.
At least we got Yoji Shinkawa in every cutscene.
Actually, fun fact, it's not Yoji Shinkawa's art. It is actually done by it is actually done by Australian artist Ashley Wood, who also did the MGS1 digital graphic novel and the Portable Ops cutscenes as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Awesome.
Ask me about Metal Gear. I know things. So, like I said, that was the first mission. We will see Snake later, but now it's time to go fast. That first mission is more or less solved with how we do it because there's not a whole lot of extra faffing about. We're stuck with Snake. We're stuck with his default loadout. But now we move on to the special stuff. So you may notice that I went straight to the start of the mission instead of doing any equipment nonsense. That's because I had already preset this up ahead of time. And say hello to my good friend Langer. He is quite fast. And welcome also to our first little bit of speed tech. This box is our best friend for most of the run. So not only is Langer quite quick, we also can make him faster by simply equipping a box.
This is never not funny.
Yes. So this is box boosting. It is basically your attack action while you're in the box. And it does have other use other than just, making silly grunts and going slightly quicker. You can actually bowl over guards with it. So it is functionally useful, which we will see in a little while.
I feel like every time you go into a new area, this map updates, and after a while, this is going to get very confusing to someone that doesn't know this game very well.
It's actually not that bad. So as a PSP game, this is fairly compartmentalized, so you don't really have to think about too much.
That's true, yeah.
And thanks to some weird vertical hitboxes, I was able to actually hit that guard on the watchtower with that sleep grenade, which actually saves his life because previously I was actually knocking him off the watchtower with a a rubber slug twin barrel, which actually sends him flying, and he may have died to gravity. Wasn't my fault, but
Promise. Although I like how any of the cutscenes that aren't in comic book form, they're all voiced by Snake.
Yes. Regardless of who you're actually displaying as your character, it's always Snake's voice going.
Not a bad impression, I will say.
I've done better, but thank you. So this is another one of those QTE-like cutscenes where you actually do have to shoot these things. But if you're basically shooting as soon as possible, you'll hit every single one of these shots, so it's not even really that much of a big deal.
And there's a boss fight, just not right now.
And you may have noticed my icon for this run. It might be a Miku. What's Miku doing here? Wouldn't you like to know? We'll discuss that later, I promise.
But here's the question. Because the game is Japanese, is it Japanese Miku? Or is it because the game takes place in Costa Rica, we get Costa Rican Miku?
Oh yeah, something I've been glossing over as well. Those who have played this game know, but for those who don't, every time you open up a mission, you have the option to do it either single player or hosting. What is hosting? It's co-op. This game has co-op, and it is the best thing ever. Highly suggest if you are at all interested to play some Peace Walker co-op. It is lovely. But
there's a drawback, but
we don't talk about that.
it's mild. It's mild. It's fine.
So we have just contacted the. No, that's actually the wrong thing. Well, that's the twin barrel. It's going to be our best
Still
friend.
waiting for the bullets to fly in this game.
So the twin barrel is quite powerful. It's going to be basically our best friend. Please. Okay.
Yay.
That didn't go to plan, but backups exist for this reason.
Whee!
So, one small thing, I usually try to hold that guy up just to avoid the caution, so this might get a little sticky, but should be fine.
It's fine. The early game enemies are mostly so weak that our trike gun knocks most of them out in one shot, regardless of where we hit them, so.
Very true.
Or we could do 58,000 stun damage with a shot to the head.
True. So, something
Is
that I
that
haven't
stun
really...
damage though?
I plead the Kojima logic.
So I was rolling to buffer some menu inputs so that I could actually use the mate, which is our stamina recovery item. And you use stamina every time you box boost, so it's quite important to keep on top of that. So like I said, our boy here has max stats, so we have to worry about it less than like a new game run would, but it's still a concern in places. But we're coming up on our first boss fight. In any percent, this is a very, very quick fight for New Game Plus, but we have some extra steps to go through for an S rank. Oh, I got an insignia.
Killing is illegal in S ranks.
Well, us killing is illegal in S ranks. What if they die to natural causes? We'll say that's fine.
I much prefer the Phantom Pain explanation of they died to the lack of medical attention. Wait, what do you mean? I don't have a way of providing that to the enemy, even though I'm driving a cardboard box with an ambulance light on it. Which, for the record, in co-op is an instant revival.
What's the line from GTA 4 where the guy asked Nico, like, what did he die of? And he says, natural causes? And Nico's like, yeah, bullet to the head seems about as natural as it gets around here.
Oh my god.
So you may
know what?
notice
It's a Grand Theft Auto game that tracks.
Yeah. I am taking an alert here. This is intentional. This does not actually preclude S ranks in these styles of fights. This is a vehicle battle. And the game basically expects you to take an alert. So what the game is tracking here is the amount of kills and the amount of time we take to do this. So if we kill nobody, you know, we've done it. And he really loves to roll people over. It's common.
Good thing he's not very fast.
True. So the basic gist here is that we have used a rocket launcher filled with Fulton rounds. Definitely exists. 100%. So we are basically causing all of the dudes around the explosion area to fall asleep and then go take a balloon ride. This is tied to the recruitment mechanics in the game. So, but it's also one of the best ways of getting folks out of the way. And normally the Fulton launcher only has like 5-6 rounds in it. So it's usually not meant to be this powerful. However, you may notice I have a bandana, and the bandana in this game does not cancel out S ranks either. Very handy.
This game is actually very forgiving.
Yes, yes. It was a PSP game after all. It was a peace game. Now it's a violence game.
Peace was never an option.
Then why didn't they call it Metal Gear Solid Violence Walker? Hello.
Good question. So we wait until all 4 of those guys show up, and then we take that shot. I have weakened the LAV here so that he pops out immediately, and now we just take him out with the sleep gas from the Fulton launcher. And that is one of the faster ways of S-ranking this fight. There are other ways where you maintain perfect stealth, but those are comparatively quite slow.
Mission complete.
So I'm assuming the reason why you're using LTL rounds on some of these enemies is just because it's faster somehow.
Sorry?
So like, because this question also came up in chat. Yeah, LTL less than lethal.
Yeah. That is more a consideration for the S rank part of this because, again, if I kill anybody, that immediately ruins S rank for me. So,
gotcha. Okay.
Making sure that every knockout or every elimination we do is non-lethal means that I'll be able to preserve the S rank, and that's a core part of this particular category. There are categories where, we don't care about ranks, our any percent runs, which will very, very quickly dispatch things in New Game Plus this early in the game because of our completely busted items and weapons.
S rank.
Also, you may be wondering, man, you're skipping through those results screens rather quickly. How do you know you're getting your S ranks? And the simple answer is the jingle is different. So I'm listening out for the specific S rank jingle to move on. But also, it's pretty easy to tell if you've lost an S rank. It becomes quite messy if you do. Oop, that's wrong. So, I'm changing between uniforms between some missions because in this game, your loadout selection is saved to specific uniform archetypes. So, like, you've got your sneaking suit, which is its own. You've got your battle suit. You've got your fatigues, your topless fatigues. All of these count as their own individual loadouts. So, I have pre-selected weaponry and items to kind of ease my way through each of these missions. So all I have to do is just change what outfit I'm wearing, and I'm good to go to reduce some menuing. How did I hit the back guy before the front guy? That was
I am
silly.
not sure, but that was cool.
Threaded the needle.
Hey, I get my very own It's Never Happened Before here.
Woo! We got another one. Let's go.
So here we're actually trying to find the brother of the woman we just saved a couple missions ago. His name is Chico, and he's hiding behind one of these blue doors. Which one do we get today? Because this is random. It is first Chico. All right.
Nice.
Yay.
So in this mission, you hit the action button in front of these doors to check them. And to speed that up, because normally there's an animation associated with it, you can actually just spam the interact button, and if he's not in that room, Snake will peel off, or your character will peel off. So if they don't peel off, you've got the one. And an interesting fact about this mission specifically is that you actually affect your starting position for the next mission, depending on which luck you get for Chico himself. So I will be starting this next mission in front of that very same door, which means I have to be a little more careful than otherwise, because guard positions matter. If you're unfamiliar with Metal Gear speedruns, they're very, very cycle based. So keeping those permutations in mind is very important.
It's a pretty common theme with stealth I've noticed is that it's like largely down to cycles because Hitman's the same way.
Oh yeah. But there you actually saw the secondary use of the box. It's not just useful for going fast, it's also useful for climbing over. Otherwise, if we didn't do that, we'd have to go all the way around, and it's a couple of extra loading screens and a bunch of nonsense we don't really need to deal with, so let's not.
I'd like to know what kind of cardboard this is that it's holding what I presume is a 200-pound man plus all of his military equipment, even for 5 seconds.
It's steel.
Yes,
steel
of course,
cardboard box.
It's the cardboard steel box.
It truly is a steal. Get you one today.
Wow.
But he'll be here for the next hour and some change, folks.
Also, something I haven't really brought up is that I am actually using the game's 3-item cycle. So every time you see me go through my items, I am rapid firing my trigger buttons in order to make these things happen.
It's a neat little mechanic they introduced in MGS4, but
Yeah.
it never grew on me personally. I still can't use it at all.
Yeah, it takes some getting used to, for sure. Also, sometimes when you're trying to place the box down, it gets a little not happy with you. But here, we're going to set up our equipment for the next screen. We have to take out 5 dudes as quickly as possible. I've equipped my sleep gas grenades because there's 3 dudes standing next to a train that I'm going to bounce this grenade off of and take out immediately, which leaves the other 2 to just kind of gently dispose of on our convenience, which I'm going to use the twin barrel because I like it.
That's a good excuse, isn't he?
Yeah. The Mark 22 also works here, but why not send them flying? But this mission expects you to actually be trying to recruit these guys, so that's why this extra time to allow you to Fulton all these dudes before it fades out.
Gotcha.
And we just say no.
Yeah. It's a nice little break, because this game is very, very input heavy. Between, like, equipment swapping, box boosting, you know, after you climb out of your box, you are crouching, so you've got to stand up, and that's its own specific button. Like, I'm not just hitting the crouch button, I am actually hitting the D-pad down button, which causes him to stand up without, you know, the chance of rolling, which allows me to continue moving. So it's a lot to kind of consider, but once you get the hang of it, it's incredibly fun. I cannot stress enough that this is something that everyone should play at least once. Give it a shot. But that being said, we are now on to our next boss fight. We're going to be fighting a tank. He's a jerk a lot of the time, even on New Game Plus. So we're hoping that he's a bit less of a...
So you got a tank, Big Whoop. Want to fight about it?
He certainly wants to fight. I don't know about me.
I mean, you ain't got a choice.
This is true.
He's not giving you one anyway.
Nope. So, one of the ways to speed this fight up is that trying to get these double-doubles as much as possible. Because each vehicle has a set number of dudes that they can spawn. The early game ones, the LAV only has its 8 soldiers. This one has like 11, I want to say. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head. But getting them out of the... Like, getting them off the field is quite important to do in a timely fashion. I heard one. There you are. Missing doesn't help, but I've gotten enough doubles.
Whip machine. Oh, well.
Surprised I missed.
Yeah, sometimes the things don't happen quite the way you want them. These things happen. See,
All right.
The commanders especially have pretty wonky hitboxes, which is why I'm aiming more towards the top of like the vehicle than I am for him.
Spread damage is easier to hit.
Indeed. Which is also an answer to the question, if anyone had it, you know, why not just use the twin barrel? It does a lot more stun damage. That's the reason. It's spread versus localized. So, this next mission that I'm going to be doing, I'm actually going to be breaking out a completely new outfit. This is actually something that I kind of workshopped last night. So this game has a very, very bustling individual level speedrun scene, as you might expect from a game that is completely mission-based. And what I have gone and done is I have somewhat adapted the full game run out of a bunch of IL strats with some very minor differences. 1, 2, nope. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Oh ho. We're not going to talk about that. So, in this game, you have, well, some background. This game is set in Costa Rica, a tropical paradise, one might say. So, as part of that, this game allows you to find swimsuits for men and women. And that's a very quick shot that I have to make there. And that is quite important for us, actually, for IL specifically, because the swimsuit is incredibly fast. Basically, your movement speed is based entirely on how much weight you're carrying, and if you're in a swimsuit, you're not carrying that much weight. So that makes it the quickest option in terms of movement speed. It also has a couple of other benefits, but none that are quite so important for the run. So we make our way all the way over here, take that guy out, because you may have noticed I've been using the sneaking suit for most of this run, and that is for one specific reason. It is not even the most stealthy outfit necessarily, but what it does do is it silences your footsteps, which is, as you might expect, pretty important. But we're going to blast through that guy. We're going to climb these stairs. We're going to stop right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to recruit this guy to get him out of the way, because we need to get this wall dead. Bang.
The wall is alive. You've committed a kill.
Really. And the way I was doing that before is I was manipulating cycles to kind of get that guy out of the way. But in this case, I can just move him out of the way on my own leisure. Unfortunately, that's pretty much the only mission we're actually going to see the IL swimsuit strats. And that's not even the real IL strat. The IL strat goes a little harder than that even. But this next mission is a pretty simple A to B. So Dane, if you got anything to plug or anything, go wild.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. Folks, as a reminder, Games Done Quick is hiring. If you love creative work and have experience in planning and organizing, you can apply to be a prize assistant at our mainline events. Visit gamesdonquick.com/jobs by May 11th to apply. That is coming up soon. That is only a few days from now, this coming Sunday. So be sure to get your submissions in if you want to, or your applications in if you want to be a prize assistant. Additionally, for speaking of mainline events, Summer Games Done Quick 2025 will be live in Minneapolis from July 6th to the 13th. Register to attend the event by May 26th. That's the last day. You can use !SGDQ in Twitch chat or visit gdq.gg/games to check out the games list.
Ooh. A little bird told me there's some Metal Gear happening there. You should check that out.
There may be some Metal Gear happening at that. Just saying.
Yeah, so I had some aiming issues. Let's not focus on that. There is no war in Costa Rica. So, yeah, that's a good thing to talk about. Instead is sleep grenades. So, one of our top runners, Kinigos, I saw him in chat a little earlier. We've been going back and forth. I am a big fan of grenade positioning because that's how I learned the game, basically. Need this guy to go to sleep. There we go. That's how I learned the game, because in the earlier days of this game's speedrun history, that was basically a lot of how to go fast, was knowing where to place grenades. So that's something that I personally carry over from my experience. And so, you know, if there's a fun place to throw a grenade, generally chances are I'm going to take that chance. All right, so this is another one of our not really a QTE, but that's what I'll call it anyway, because I can't skip it. So it requires action on my part. Therefore, you know what? It's this truck, right? That wasn't the truck. Let's try this one. No. No.
He's not wrong.
Oh my god.
It's this truck. But yeah, the truck is always it's a static thing. It's always going to be the one, the 64779 license plate. But it's got a bunch of fun Easter eggs, and we like those. In case you're not aware, the first one is a reference to Boktai. Well, I got an A rank because I went and goofed off. It's fine.
Nice.
Well.
It's fine. We got the Boktai.
Yeah, so your rank is also somewhat dependent on your results from like the interactive cutscenes. Which is, it's not necessarily a thing there, aside from me goofing off and having fun. But later in the game, there is an actual failable QTE. Most of them that if you fail, it'll just reset you to a couple of moments before and let you try again. But there's one that is actually 100% failable.
Hey, wait a minute. This isn't MGS3.
You're right. And this isn't the Shagohod. This is the Pupa, controlled completely by AI, and one of the main thrusts of this game. So there's going to be 4 of these AI weapons, and the AI weapons, to bring it back around to why the Miku, the AI weapons are actually all voiced by Vocaloid 2. And if you know Miku, you know Vocaloid 2. That humming in the background, that's Miku. Hence the Miku.
Well done.
So, I should also mention this bit. We're stuck in here for a full minute flat. Can't really speed it up. Most of the time, you don't even need to do what I'm doing, but part of my shtick is that I'm also a bit of a Peace Walker completionist. So, on my US version, I have obtained all of these memory boards, but this Japanese copy, the file that I'm working on, does not. So, I'm kind of just pulling boards as I can.
Doing this as you go live on GDQ, I love it.
Yeah. So, I guess an explanation of that is the more you destroy on the exterior, the more those boards open up. And if you hit the pods, those boards lock. So we try, if you're farming for the boards, you actually specifically try to avoid hitting the AI pod and destroy everything else around it. But in a speed run, hitting the AI pod itself is actually the fastest method for killing the things. So we take what we get. Well, I take what I get. Most people just ignore it. But that's the first AI weapon down. That is the Pupa. And now starts actually my least favorite part of this game. I don't like this next section too much. It's very spooky, especially for like S rank runs. In any percent runs, these next few screens these next few missions aren't horrible because you can just blast through them. But in S rank, I've got to be very, very mindful. And that's for a couple of reasons. Of course, if I get an alert, that's the end of S rank. So I've got to be aware of that. But if you do get seen in this game, you have a brief grace period where you can try and do your best to avoid the alert. These next few enemies reduce your amount of options. They actually cannot be CQC'd. The scouts will actually counter you and cause a whole lot of problems. So, yeah, I really don't want to tangle with these scouts too much. So let's see if that worked. That worked. Perfect.
Yes.
Nice.
So there's a guy behind that tree. There's a guy behind that tree. Did you see them? I sure didn't.
And they didn't see you. Even if you ran in front of them for some reason.
Here's another guy. So
All we see is the box.
the box, the all-important box.
The steel cardboard box.
Yep. Also, these loading screens, I'm trying to be standing up through most of them because that's the quickest I can go. Primarily because the entry of the next screen is determined by how fast you're moving. So standing is generally the fastest form of movement when you're running. So that's why I remove box, stand up, and try and roll through. But we're through that mission because at the waterfall, we're attacked by a chopper. And we got to take care of it. So the chopper, much like the other vehicle fights, doesn't really care if you're spotted. It expects you to take out a lot of dudes in order to make the commander pop out. But the choppers are special in that they have an alternate means of getting that commander to pop out. You see, the commander is the pilot, and the pilot is encased in bulletproof glass. But bulletproof glass is not explosion-proof. That being said, we're going to shoot bullets at it, so, I mean, I guess this analogy falls apart. But we're going to shoot that canopy. We're going to shoot that canopy until it opens up. Which means we don't have to worry a single bit about any of the dudes on the field with us. We just got to try not to get blown up. There he is. It's our boy, the commander, that I missed. So choppers are actually quite quick to S rank if you're capable of aiming. Because the commander, if you hit him, only takes 2 shots, and hitting the nose is actually good enough to hit the commander. My goodness. Hey, don't throw grenades at me. That's rude.
I just think it's hilarious. He's just leaning out of a helicopter, stock loaded with missiles and a machine gun, and just lobs a grenade at you. Yeah, I can't hit him with my overpowered machine. Let's just...
Yeah, sometimes you just got to work with what you got, right? Which, in most cases, would be the chopper, but points for creativity. All right. So, with the chopper out of our way, we can then move on with the original mission. So, this mission requires that we have a specific item in our inventory. I have already set up one of my loadouts with this item in that inventory, so I don't really have to worry about it. It's just another one of those preparation is the best kind of deals. There we go. Another little quirk about this mission is that you gain control immediately before the screen even fades in. So if you're not holding a direction, you're not moving. And nice. It wastes a little bit of time.
We would like to be schmovin'.
Yeah. But this section of the game, still chock full of scouts, but also snipers in full ghillie. Can you see the sniper on the screen? It's that guy to my left.
Oh, I didn't.
And he still didn't see you.
Yeah, so the cloud forest is very, very tricky. It will do everything in its power to trip you up, and thankfully I've failed enough at this that I know how not to fail anymore. And even then, I still fail sometimes.
I was going to say, since when is that going to stop you?
Right. So I ran through most of my stamina there, but thanks to this cutscene, that has been fully refilled. Which means once I deal with some dudes, I will be able to just continue box boosting and not waste time with the Mate Tea.
Mate Tea just sounds so good.
I mean, yeah.
Huh?
But yeah, those 3 dudes are in the way. Getting the first 2 is pretty simple with 1 smoke. It's quite large in radius. So, I mean, okay. It's larger than you think, smaller than you want. Then again, if I had my way, I'd probably have the thing envelop the entire screen and move on. But
that explanation is perfect, and yet I still had to reset my brain just to understand it.
Yeah, I was sitting here like calculating that in my head. Like, wait a minute.
Does your internal monologue also sound like a dial-up?
Sometimes.
In that moment, it did. Yes.
All right. So the ID card we had was not actually sufficient. So we've been skipping over the cutscenes, so we didn't see him, but we actually recruited Huey directly after the pupa fight, and it was his card that we had to bring along. His card isn't going to cut it. We need someone else's card to get into that lab. So hold up those two dudes.
He's lucky he's smart, because he's otherwise fairly not useful.
Yeah.
That, and he's voiced by David Hayter, BFF, Christopher Randolph, so
True.
Oh wait, not in this version, never mind.
No, he is.
Nuh-uh, this is a Japanese version.
Oh, well. Touche.
Oh my gosh. What a technicality, this guy.
So I'm actually going to hold these two dudes up because that will actually matter on my return trip through here. Because now we're on an RNG item hunt. We have to find... Yeah, we have to find a specific dude. We call him Naruto. You will be able to find out why we call him Naruto very quickly once we find him.
Oh boy!
He's going to run weird.
I mean, everyone in this game runs weird.
True, yeah.
I mean, this box runs weird.
So, hey, look at that sniper. That's not sniping. Sniping's a good job, mate. Too bad you didn't get to.
Spotting, apparently, is a better job. They couldn't afford spotters, though.
It is not always in the waterfall, but I'm checking the waterfall first here because this is my preferred location to find him. Hey, look, he's here! It's Naruto! Believe it!
Oh,
Also,
wow. I get it.
Oh, right, this guy's not a... So, there are perks in this game that each individual soldier can have. One of them is Pro Wrestling Maniac, which improves your CQC ability, but also knocks all items out of a dude. Useful for something like this. I forgot that this guy's not a Pro Wrestling Maniac, so I had to actually pat him down, which is fine. But yeah, if you guessed a dude wearing an orange jacket in the middle of a rainforest, A, you're hacking, but also B, you're correct. You win.
Says the guy running around with a cardboard box with a red light on it.
A cardboard box with a red light on it that is capable of resuscitating allies. Yes.
It's true.
So in my practice runs that I've been doing for this, I have actually been getting him there more often than not, which I am very, very happy for, because otherwise this becomes a whole lot more tricky. So we take those.
I'm a little suspicious.
I mean, I would be too, but I'm the one in control of it.
Third run in a row that I've seen. That's the only place I've seen you there.
I am not complaining one little bit about any of that. I will 100% take that every single time.
Mm-hmm. I wish he was always by the waterfall, but he is not, sadly.
But yeah, that makes the return trip very, very simple, because I've already dealt with most of the dudes in my way. But yeah, if you knock out an enemy through stun, it is a different timer than if you knock out an enemy with tranquilizers, which is also a different timer for if you knock them out through holding them up. Holding up is indefinite unless they're found by a friend or you get an alert. I believe stun is the least long KO timer, and tranks are just above stuns. So holding them up is in your best interest in a lot of places if you can manage it. So here's another AI memory board thing. We don't actually have to do anything here, so I'm not going to.
There's no letters here. We're supposed to collect the alphabet.
Just stare at the boxes. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, this is effectively just an auto scroller minute where you just kind of sit here and vibe out and relax your hands after however long.
Bashing.
Yeah.
I just twiddle my thumbs.
But yeah, there's Kinegos in chat I was talking about earlier, mentioning the spots. Yeah, the third spot is all the way back to the beginning of the area, and he is... it's a pain. But after that, we now have an unskippable interactive cutscene.
Yay! Woo!
Hey, you remember MGS3, right?
I do.
Yeah.
I also remember Sekiro. And Dark
Although
Souls 3.
I don't remember Metal Gear Solid 3 happening in this fashion.
Yeah, so the way I explain this whole bit is that it is deteriorating memory. Like, it's not like in a medical sense. It's just the events as Snake remembers it 10 years after the fact. You know, things get muddy.
He's just getting old.
I mean, yes, but also things just kind of pile together. You remember some important bits, but a lot of the fine details escape you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He knows exactly what was said, how it was said, just not exactly when it was said.
Yep.
This entire dialogue happened a week earlier and they weren't fighting. She was just whooping his butt.
I mean, she is here too.
This is true.
I mean, when I played Metal Gear Solid 3, she whooped my butt a lot before I finally beat her.
Like, this is the end of the game. But it's also not the end of the game.
Yeah. All right. But with all of that out of the way, fun fact, you can actually buffer cutscene skips. As long as that little icon on the bottom right is gone, you can hit the start button and then start mashing to get out of the cutscene. Which means you can actually skip that cutscene while it's still all white. White screen. Very handy. Very fun. So, but that being said, we're up to our second AI weapon battle against the Chrysalis. This thing is a real pain if you are not prepared for it. We are prepared for it. This is not going to be a pain. So on my battle dress outfit, I have equipped chaff grenades. And if you've played Metal Gear long enough, you know exactly what chaff grenades are useful for. So we're going to equip those, chuck one, go back to our rocket launcher, aim up. Bang! Look at all that health gone. And we just chuck another one up there, and bang! Look at all that not health she has.
I like it when she's glitching out, she sounds like GLaDOS.
Yeah. And this one, you can actually hear her little death jingle, too. In the English version, all she says is, whoops, I guess I died. But in Japanese, she gets a whole little jingle, and it's cute, and I love it. But we do have to wait for her to land. Thankfully, she landed in the, I hit the attack button. I don't know what happened there. But either way, we have to wait for her to land, and she actually landed in the nicer of the two spots, the quicker version of it. So, again...
all the alphabets.
Yeah. Absolutely unnecessary for people who aren't me, but I'm me, so...
How many are you missing?
There's quite a number I'm missing. I have like 2/3 of them in my JP file. So I would have to take a look. Because there is actually a way to tell exactly which ones you're missing. they are classified through like periodic table elements. You got iron, copper, gold, silver, and platinum because they're conductive materials. And they correspond to which of the different fights you can have, because there's also extra ops with the AI's weapons in them. Like there's type 2 variants and as well as custom variants, which are painted red, go fast, and hurt a lot.
That tracks.
Yeah. They kind of operate on orc logic from Warhammer. Painted red, it's more dangerous.
That actually makes perfect sense. I mean, if they wanted to modernize it a little bit, they just give them all RGB go fast lights.
But that is half of the AI weapons down. We have no more. We've got no more of the vehicle fights left. Thankfully, the Hind is the last one in the main game. But we are halfway through the AI fights. And yeah, we're roughly halfway through now with the elimination of the chrysalis, which means next up.
There's a flying boss coming up. How long until we get to that one?
Oh, you mean the one that we just killed?
Oh, was it just that one?
It didn't fly very far.
Yeah,
Got it.
it was effectively flying.
So this would be a good time to take a break then.
Yeah, the perfect time.
Yeah, cool. So, folks, we're going to pause the timer here, and we're going to take a quick break, get some stretching, get some water, do whatever you got to do, and we will be back in just a few minutes. See you soon. Welcome back to Crosshair with our showcase of Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker with Pythonicus. So we're going to get this second half of this run going. Pythonicus, whenever you're ready, count us in.
You got it. We can get going here in, well, make sure. Okay, yep. We can get going in 3, 2, 1, and go. Could you imagine a Splinter Cell Peace Walker, though?
Oh, that would be cool. I just want more Splinter Cell to come back. We haven't had a game from that series in 12 years, man.
Yeah, theoretically for Metal Gear, it's been, well, if you don't count the Volume 1 of the Master Collection, it's been 7 years. I speak, of course, of the Forbidden one.
Talk about that game.
I talk about that game.
I've heard not good things about it.
It's
They
fine.
Are completely fair.
It's fine. It's not the worst thing in the world.
It's Konami trying to use Metal Gear to jump onto a gimmick that was dead for 5 years.
At any rate, that's a mission. We just went through a mission.
Oh yeah,
Wow,
got gameplay.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot to talk about that one. There's just, you go. In any percent, it's even faster, where you literally just go. Yeah, Roy brings up a good point. It has, in fact, been 9 years.
9 years. But it's been 13 or 12 for Splinter Cell. Let us eat. Cook us something.
I was going to say, you got to have somebody ready to cook first.
No, Ubisoft won't cook that one anymore.
Well, they have a tendency to overcook
themselves, but that's another story for another day.
True.
All right, so we have... I think I want to go with this one. This is a good one. So, hey. Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, not only does it have a whole lot of fun involved, it also has product placement, but also it has graphic tees, but only on the Japanese version.
I knew about these, but he didn't tell me which one he was going to pick.
We'll get a closer look at it here. Well, yeah, we'll get a closer look at it here in a little bit. But yeah, one of the brand partners for this game was in fact Uniqlo, and there are some specimens on offer.
Oh yeah, by the way, we are sniping with a shotgun a la Call of Duty style.
I was about to ask, like, that's a shotgun.
Yes. You are absolutely correct. So, fun little side bit about this game is that this game is actually capable of computing ballistic drop, but only for sniper rifles. Shotguns are immune to this. So we snipe with shotguns.
The logic, I tell you. And what's really sad is how perfect the aim is.
That guy just ate that bullet and decided to go up on the other ridge.
Yeah.
I wasn't even aiming for him. Yeah.
Surprise.
Literally surprise.
Ah!
Yeah, there's like, I want to say like 10 t-shirts in this game, and they're all, a lot of them are gold. Usually I'm better at aiming this thing than that. There we go. So again, getting doubles are the most optimal way to deal with this, because as you can see, there's blue skulls above these people. That represents the timer before they are no longer recoverable through Fulton means, and we do have to wait for that. If you are going for a lethal playthrough, that's not really a problem. You just continue shooting them. But for stun timers, I believe it actually resets the timer if you hit someone who's in the blue skull state. So we basically just have to wait for that to stop. That was a great shot. I knew that wasn't going to hit, and I still hit the button anyway. So there should be just one more wave. But yeah, this is, I mean, if you caught on to the gimmick for this particular mission, then cookies all around. We're just wave defense, and I'm surprised
just
the game
horde mode.
Kind of, yeah. I'm surprised the game doesn't do more of this, because this is actually reasonably fun for this particular system of gameplay.
I could see this being like a mini game kind of thing, like a different mode for you play for the main menu, something like
survival mode, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
There is a couple of extra ops called base defense in the very extensive extra op list, which are all your side missions and so on and so forth. There are a couple of them there, and also it is basically a multiplayer game mode as well. But not necessarily like wave defense, but like base defense more accurately.
Ah, okay.
So hey, we're 2 missions removed from the last AI fight. How about we have another AI fight?
Yay!
Yeah, the mid game of Peace Walker plays pretty quick and loose with its boss placement. They had 4, therefore you're fighting 4. Yeah. Get ready.
I got all.
I mean, it would feel like a little bit of a letdown if you didn't fight all 4. You know.
Fine.
True. And that's ignoring that you fight one of them 3 times.
Yes.
So say hello to the cocoon.
No.
What's the bottom?
He's a big boy.
What pill bottle? Oh, the one
a big
been sitting
boy.
right there for a while.
That is a big one. Holy.
What, are we having a party?
Not only is he quite large, he is quite strapped. You see all these things on the side of him? Those are guns.
Yeah, I left that door open when I came for water.
You see all the things on the corners? Those are guns. You see these things up here?
He's in the window.
They're called hedgehogs, but they're basically like aerial mines. You see the things hanging from those pods? Those are guns. You got a couple more Gatling guns up there. You got a gigantic cannon in the front of it. It's even got a chainsaw. Can you believe it?
Yes, shut the door.
Do you want the chainsaw?
Yes.
See that ladder? It's a gun.
I mean, it may as well be. If I were to have tried mounting this ladder before that cutscene was finished, I would have been ejected from it forcefully. I would literally be sent flying.
Very good.
But we do actually have to climb all the way up this thing. And it takes
you're
a
definitely
moment.
showcasing the theme of the show, Crosshair, the show that features runs with bullets, with so many of them flying around constantly.
Truly. But we do have to climb all the way up here because we need to get in the AI pod to more quickly finish the fight. There is a second way of finishing AI fights, which is to defeat the weapon 3 times.
Can we just appreciate how that thing is bigger than any Metal Gear ever? Like, except Arsenal Gear.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, if you deplete the health bar 3 times, it will allow you to move on. But it's just faster to spend the minute in the AI pod, pull the boards, or don't, and then, you know, carry on that way. And actually, I lied. Did you know there's actually 5 AI weapons in Peace Walker, but only 4 show up in the main campaign for first ending.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was about to call you a liar.
He's giving you a half-truth. It's fine-ish.
There's another word for a half-truth.
A half lie.
Alternative fact?
It's called a lie.
Hey, we're playing Metal Gear. It's primarily a game about lying and being lied to.
True.
Mans has a point.
So, the reason we're even here is that Peace Walker's hangar is actually in this area. We couldn't get in. Now we can.
Wow.
So yes, effectively the entire reason we fought Cocoon was to get access to Peace Walker's hangar. The hows and whys, those aren't important. But yes, we are through the Cocoon. The next mission is actually the one I was referring to earlier with the actually failable QTE. And it's a pretty long QTE too. Thankfully, I do have notes pulled up for this QTE because I'm going to be very honest. I would not be able to sight read this thing. It's not difficult, but it's just a lot. But before that, we actually have to complete the mission. So we're going to go back to our sneaking suit and hop on in. Alrighty, so we actually have to go find Peace Walker. Look at all these pupa chassis. That's not worrying at all.
Look how conveniently lined up they are.
Well done.
Yeah. In new game runs, you can actually do this exact same strat, except it's done with smoke grenades instead of sleep grenades. Very handy stuff.
Just as convenient.
Yeah. Yes, so that smoke grenades are actually very, very good in any Metal Gear past or Peace Walker and beyond. Ask anyone who plays MGS5 how powerful smokes are. That's not even close to far enough. What are you doing?
He doesn't know either. Did you see the question mark?
Right.
Nice.
Shush, 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 shush. Go to sleep. Hey, I forgot about you. Go to sleep. And then you guys go to sleep. And then, by the power of our physical might, we move.
Just remember, this is a totally realistic part of physics.
Oh, yeah.
Holding open a shutter with your bare arms.
Alrighty, so here, skip a cutscene. Here's our QTE. There are actually multiple reasons why I want to get this QTE correctly. First of which, S rank. Second of which, it actually gets us an item that will help us immensely with our next mission. And honestly, me speaking during all this is a mistake because I almost screwed it up at least 3 times now.
I can't even tell.
That's the rapid fire section of it gone.
I wish you could just pick a man up by his headphones and just throw him to the ground.
Glenn's gonna try this at SGDQ. I just know it.
Why would I do such a thing?
You said you wish.
I can't argue that point. I did say that.
All right, so we're through the scary QTE. We got our key card, our ID card, or whatever it is, and now it's time to play for Snake for the second and final time in this game. That's right, Big Boss is back, and he's better than ever.
It's good to be back.
I say better than ever, but really, no, he's better than ever.
And this is a situation of mild Japanese censorship. We're not getting electrocuted. We're getting tickled to give
this
up
looks like
information.
tickling.
Yeah. So real quick, on the third section of this, I will actually provide a flashing lights warning. If you are sensitive to that, please look away for the third section of this specifically. I'll even give you a few moments to do something about that. Oh, here we go. On in.
Oh, wow, you're not kidding.
I never noticed that before.
Yeah, thank you for letting us know that.
He's laughing
first,
so hard
friends.
you could see his skeleton.
True. Oh. So, in normal runs, you have to skip those cutscenes ASAP, so you don't really get a break between those matches, and that last one's a real doozy. Thankfully, Metal Gear as a series has trained us for this moment.
It's sad how true that is. Specifically 1 and 2.
Yeah. Alrighty. So like I said, because we succeeded at the QTE, by the way, it's safe to look again for our photosensitive friends. Since we got that ID card in the last QTE, we now have it here. Because apparently we stashed it somewhere they didn't deign to look. But we can use it to unlock our cell. Instead of going through a kind of a mini game sort of thing. Which takes a while and is just, I don't like it too much. But as far as S ranking the game goes, we're just gonna duck behind that pillar because I screwed that up a little. Normally you want to kind of actually throw them against the wall, but I kind of screwed the input up a little bit there.
It will never cease to amaze me that throwing him against the wall not only does more damage, it actually hits them twice.
Yeah. Very, very powerful.
It's OP.
Safe to say that Snake still remembers the basics of CQC.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Alrighty, so that's the last time we're actually going to see Snake in-game here. So we got to go head back to Peace Walker again. Now, I went back into the menu just to double check, but yes, we're still good. It is still Langer. He's still in our sneaking suit. That's what we need. So we're back in this whole underground base thing. We do have to be careful because now these guys are actually ready for combat and not in their ease. I mean, they are, but they actually have equipment now.
Oh. That's totally worrying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not too bad to deal with. There is a guard patrolling over there that I need to distract with that grenade. Otherwise, he'll see me. And I did more than distract him. I got him. I got them all. Even the prisoner. Let's go.
Well done.
Good grenade. But yeah, as far as the speed run goes, it's a quintessential Metal Gear run. You gotta have basically some foreknowledge of what your enemies are gonna do, where they're gonna be at any time, that sort of thing. But if you do know all that, it is so much fun to just blaze through.
And it's over.
Alrighty, so that's that done. We've headed for Peace Walker's hangar. Now it's time to fight.
What?
Yeah, time to fight. We gotta fight the robot. Fight the robot, Shinji. All right. So, as I mentioned, one of our AI bosses, we fight. Well, I said 3 times, but really it's 2. So there's another lie for you. Add it to the count. But yes,
I was going to make a joke earlier about like, oh, you're fighting the same enemy over and over and over. What is this, Elden Ring?
Oh boy.
He'll be here longer than Python, folks.
It's true. So this is our first fight against Peace Walker. This is the first configuration where it's bipedal. Here's a hint. It's not going to stay bipedal for long.
It's gonna get new legs.
So we're going to pass underneath it. We're going to lock onto the pod. What we basically just did is we initiated the standard AI loop for it, which is if you get close enough to it, it'll constantly try and flamethrower you, giving you a load of time to just lay into its AI pod. But, yeah. We don't really need the loop. We just need it to, stay still for a second. So, good stuff.
Look, it's a horse.
It's a horse. Yes, this is the boss's horse. No, don't ask questions.
I learned a long time ago not to ask many questions.
The answer is always Kojima.
Usually.
I have a meme for that.
All right, but yeah, as this is another one of our interactable cutscenes, getting hit by those missiles, you can take a hit or two, but it's not ideal. Ideally, you just want to avoid all of them, which thankfully you can do a lot of the time by just hugging the left side of the screen by mashing really well. And also dodging these trees. I think I'm going to go home, guys. Peace Walker agrees.
Nice.
Wait, you're not at home playing this?
Who's to say, really?
No,
I'll miss the
Python is
friends you
at
made
the
along
local
the way.
coffee shop doing this off the Wi-Fi there.
I'd
Yeah,
honestly be impressed, though.
They're very enthusiastic about how loud I'm being. Yep.
Jeez.
But I mean, it's worth it to be the Peace Walker evangelist. One of a few, but anyway, once Peace Walker roars, you're good to stop mashing, and you can fall back to the right side of the screen again.
Oh, good.
And that's Peace Walker 1. Coming up next are the most difficult missions in this game. This is not an exaggeration. This is actually a true statement.
Oh.
Yeah. The community at large. So this next mission, rather, isn't too bad. It's manageable. It's fine. It's silly at points, but it's fine ultimately. Also, we're changing soldiers back to Thresher Shark for once. Because of that thing I mentioned about loadouts, it also separates between male and female. So you have access to like 10 unique loadouts, I think. Something like that. At any rate, like I said, this first mission is not too bad. It's difficult. If you screw something up, it's very likely to end up in an alert or even a death. So we try real hard not to screw up. Hold this one up, blast that guy. Hey, I love the twin barrel so much, I brought two.
Nice.
So the twin barrel comes in several varieties. You got the non-lethal rubber slug variety, but you've also got the regular slugs. Oh, so I missed that second. I didn't miss that second one. Okay, cool. Safe rather than sorry, of course, but you know, glad that I hit it. So that's the first screen. The trickiest part about that first screen is the placement of those grenades. But there's a fairly accurate and consistent visual kind of cue for it. The second one, pretty similar to get a sleep grenade downrange. Listen out for that guy. And this guy didn't get caught in this. That's fine. Because that guy didn't get caught in the grenade.
Fine.
It's all good. These things happen. The most important part is that we're continuing on. We didn't die.
GG.
But yeah, the first guy dodging the smoke was a bit spooky, but I had to. Oh, this is not in a caution, so it's different patterns, which is fine. I don't mind different patterns. That's gonna miss. That didn't miss.
Different patterns make game exciting.
I've really got to stop doubting myself. I've said twice that something's gonna miss, and it hit the first go.
You got to believe in yourself the way we believe in you, man.
Apparently,
It's true.
I gotta take the Naruto school of belief. All right, but that's the first mission. The next mission is not going to be so kind. The next
Fingers
mission
crossed.
is 3 minutes of getting shot at the entire time with laser accurate enemies, very limited healing supplies, and to make matters worse, in the speedrun, we are going to not be using the most defensive equipment. So like I said, there's different outfits. Each particular outfit has like a defensive stat. The most defensive stat, or the most defensive equipment you could be wearing is the battle dress, but the battle dress is real slow. We're not going to be using the battle dress. Oh,
It's
boy.
so polite for them to give you plenty of time to change into something more usable.
Yeah. Oh, I have to change back to this guy. And then, there we go. Believe in the grenade that believes in you. Truly.
I was going to call that out too. Believe in the grenade that believes in you.
All right. So, I am in regular old fatigues. These are kind of your baseline stat uniforms. I'm going to chuck a sleep grenade over there. I need to get that guy out of the way. Those two are asleep.
Can we just appreciate the track to this level?
Oh, it's tense.
It's the point. This entire mission is tense.
All right, so those two are asleep. There's going to be two more down the other end. We chuck a grenade down there. Missed one, apparently. That's fine.
It's fine. You can just sweep him off his feet.
Yeah. And that sniper's position is a bit random. So he could be a little bit more forward and actually able to hit me as I approached. This time he wasn't, which is neat. I like that. I'm actually going to try something new here. I'm actually going to bank a sleep grenade off of that and see if it does what I want it to. It did not, but that's fine. Because there's this guy right here. I'm seeing if I could take him out without any problems, but it turns out I did that without the grenade anyway. Where'd that grenade go? Okay. Alrighty, so that's 2 screens down. We got 3 more to go. This one, take that out. There's explosive barrels on the bridges. We take those out.
The flashing light warning would have been good here too.
I'm sorry. I really wasn't
fine.
thinking about it.
I was like, whoa.
Just remember, I didn't kill them. The barrel and gravity did. Promise. Or I guess Python didn't kill him. I'm literally not killing anyone.
True. So you may have noticed for a moment there, I had my equipment not on the bandana for once. I've been burned by this mission several times, and so has a lot of the folks in our community who speedrun Peace Walker. So at any point where if we feel unsafe, we are putting on that ration and not looking back. We should have plenty of ammo to deal with everything by now anyway.
It's like finding someone who doesn't like heights. Don't look down, don't look down, don't look down. Well, in this case, we're afraid of bullets. Don't look back.
But yeah, as you can see, with maximum health value, I have already been run through 2 rations, and I'm going to spend the other 2 just to make sure I'm set up for this next room, which is the most dangerous.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. It's me?
Yes. Congratulations, you're in the game.
Yeah, let's go.
So, there's a lot of dudes shooting at me right now. We have to take out all of them. Ow.
At least we have our handy-dandy sniper shotgun.
Yes. The ultimate tool for clearing out a specific area. A case could be made for using something like the Fulton launcher, but it just takes too long to reload, so the twin barrel it is.
I can't argue this logic. What the heck was that scream?
All right. But yeah, not only did we have a lot of dudes shooting at us, we also had a chopper shooting at us, which is why I stayed indoors. Oh, he's done already. Cool.
That's convenient.
Yeah. So here we're going to set up right here. Aim a grenade right about there-ish. And time it poorly. Oh. Are you done? You're done. All right. Those are the last 4 enemies of the screen. If I had been a little bit more patient on that grenade, I could have actually caught all 4 of them with it, but that's totally fine.
I never want to run to go perfectly, you know? You want to show like how difficult the run is, have a few things go wrong here and there, you know? That's the logic I'm going with, hopefully.
Something like that. So that mission, if it goes on long enough, actually goes into the game's like secondary main theme called Heaven's Divide, sung by Donna Burke. She's great. Wonderful singer. Wonderful song. We don't want to hear it. It's slow if we hear it. So
Oh. Gotta soften the blow with compliments, I see.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that is unironically the most difficult mission in the game. We're through it, and we have 1.5 left. So, the final mission of this first chapter here isn't much of a mission. I'm going to still do it as part of this because it's a great time to get like shoutouts and whatnot all out of the way. But this is the true final mission of this particular speed run here. The final one that actually makes much of a difference, at least. So to start off, we're aiming for the lighter gray parts of Peace Walker's legs because those are not armored as heavily as the dark gray bits. And therefore are doing more damage. By doing that...
I'm not certain if the sky is a shade of gray, but...
Yeah, by doing that, you're actually doing comparable damage to hitting the AI pod. Not full damage as, like, it's more... Hitting the AI pod is worth 85,000. Hitting the legs is about 75-ish. All the while, she's jumping around.
So the lesson here is go for the joints.
Yes.
But we get the cool boss music in the meantime.
Ow.
This was my ringtone for a while.
Good ringtone.
Mm-hmm.
Ow. So this is what we don't want to see. This is her going walkabout. Oh, we don't like this. She's walking peacefully. And we wish she wouldn't.
Oh, I get it.
Oh. Thankfully, we actually broke something. Oh, wow, that was actually real fast. Yeah, we broke something which paused her in place, and that allowed me to get a really nice hit in on that last one, which skipped an entire phase, by the way, so that's extremely quick.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
good stuff.
So that was a great fight.
Does this happen regularly, or would you say that that's...
That particular happening has not, been a thing before.
I'll take it. He said the thing!
I had to. I feel special. So this time we actually do have to pull these boards, and there is a method here. So you actually start at the back of her AI pod there, which means that's column C. For whatever reason, this is the only pod that does it, aside from the fake one earlier. And this time we actually do have to pull all these boards. We started with about 4 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock. We are aiming to be done by 2 minutes and 25 remaining. So to start, we move over to C, and then once C is done, we can go whichever direction, but I usually go to the right towards D and just go up and down each line. And it's worth noting that I am, in fact, mashing like my arm doesn't matter to me.
Just hoarding hard drives.
Hurt yourself.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there is something actually kind of neat that I can bring up here, is that if you are not wearing the battle dress or the swimsuits, this actually takes longer to do. For some reason, the battle dress
is interesting.
Yeah, the battle dress and the swimsuit both have, I guess, sped up animations for this.
Huh.
Weird.
Yeah, very strange. Not sure why they did that, but we take it.
Actually, that's a good point. You've taken out all these hard drives. Where is he putting all of them?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
There's an infinite storage cube thing.
It's like a glitch, right? Like an infinite storage glitch.
Yeah.
Like an ISG. Put them.
Oh, actually, that was
tonight.
Yeah, 225. Perfect.
Yay!
All right. So, like I said, this is the last bit of actual gameplay. The last actual mission. We do have one more final one remaining as kind of a formality because it is the mission where the credits are tied into. So in order to see the credits, we have to do that mission, that sort of thing. But we're not going to be doing a whole lot, and I will explain why once we get started. But let me just get into that mission really quickly. Oh, not that one. I don't want to do that one again. The first time was good enough. So, Peace Walker 3. In the story, you've defeated Peace Walker, but okay. Let's take that back. Just walk that back a few steps. The AI weapons were designed so that the idea of deterrence would actually, go through, because people are people and may not choose to press the button when time comes. Anyway, Peace Walker has effectively pushed the button and sent out a false signal to NORAD. And now it's up to NORAD to not actually launch, because these aren't actually missiles heading towards America at all. At any rate, the game expects you to be firing everything you've got at Peace Walker. I'm not doing that. This mission is actually on a timer of about 3-ish minutes. And by attacking Peace Walker, you cause a lot of particle effects. This game is a PSP game. What do you think happens with particle effects on a PSP game? It slows it down. Yeah,
Amen.
It slows it down. So instead of doing that, we're just off in a corner, having a nice look at the sunrise, I think. I don't know. Can't remember. Doesn't matter. But yeah, like I said, this is a great time for final shout-outs and whatnot. But shout-outs especially go out to the Peace Walker subsection of the MGSR community. Stands for Metal Gear Speedrunners. If you'd like to speedrun any of the Metal Gear games, including this one or the one you'll see next up, go ahead and go to metalgearspeedrunners.com. We got a link to the Discord. We got a wiki with a bunch of strats on it. Yeah, it's a great time. Big thank you to Glenn for joining me. I always appreciate your company.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And shout outs to GDQ and Hotfix for taking this run. Didn't get to show it off didn't get to show it off at SGDQ. Didn't get taken, but that's quite all right. I'll take this. This works just fine by me.
You never know. AGDQ is coming up in January. You never know.
Exactly. But
I like how the sunlight in the background just looks like a wall.
Kind of is, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I just looked up and I'm like, what the heck?
And time.
GG's.
Where did we come in at?
Looks like 120, just over 129.
Okay, sweet.
We take that.
Demolished that estimate.
Yeah. I had the feeling this would happen because over the last couple of nights I've been practicing offline, and this more or less exactly happened.
He got good.
Just getting too good at it.
Yeah, the category is quite young. There is a lot to still be learned about it. Like I said, I put this category together using bits of shoestring and IL strats that I was familiar with at the time, which have since been outclassed heavily. So there's more time to come off of this category, and I'll have to adjust the estimate accordingly later. Unfortunately, it was a little too late for me to do so for this particular showing.
Yeah, it worked out since we've had tech issues.
Yeah.
So, Glenn, any last little bit you want to throw in there?
No, I think Python got it all covered. I just appreciate that my company is welcome.
Sweet, yeah, and you'll be back for the next run too.
I'm stuck here. No kidding.
We're never going to let you leave. I think you'll actually be the first one to ever be on the whole show, except for like one episode where we had 3 runners that all just interchanged for each other's couches. But yeah, thank you both for being here, for showing this off. I'm glad you submitted this run. I super wanted to see it, make an episode out of this, and I'm glad it all worked out. So thank you very much for being here and showing it off.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and yeah, enjoy MGS2, everyone.
Absolutely. Yeah, folks, we're going to be back with MGS2 Substance in just a little bit with Theory UK. But before we do that, we are going to take a quick break, give you a chance to get up, stretch your legs, get a glass of water, do whatever you got to do, and we will be back with MGS here on the GDQ Hotfix. We are wrapping up today's show all about Metal Gear Solid with Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance with Theory UK. Theory, take it away.
Thank you, Dane. Yes, got MGS2 here. We're going to get started really quick. It's not much introduction. Me and Glenn will talk as we go through the run. We pretty much explain as much as we can. This run is pretty much on the go all the time, except for one section towards the end of the game where we get a little bit of a break, which we hate as speedrunners, but it'll be great for you guys. And yeah, if we're ready, we'll do a countdown in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good
Yay.
luck.
Thank you, thank you. So yeah, it says Metal Gear Solid 2. This is the PC original release. This is not HD, and it is not the current re-release Master Collection. This is the original that was released in 2002, 2003. One of those years. I think it was 2002. And it is... Yeah.
No, you're right,
maybe.
too.
Yeah, something like... It's one of those years.
This game's release is kind of all over the place because it wasn't a worldwide release. So like Europe got it later, Japan got it later.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm just like, it came out in 2002 and 2003, and at that point, I no longer care about the
This is a this is technically the OG Xbox, so not 360, but the original Xbox. This is released on original Xbox first, the Substance port. Obviously, Sons of Liberty was a PS2 exclusive, but the Substance first came to Xbox OG. This PC port is the Xbox OG version, and so with that, we do have some nice caveats that we got given. As you can see, there's a timer on my screen and some text down the bottom. These were tools, scripts that were designed by a wonderful person in our community who goes by the name of BMN. So shout outs to BMN, legend. And that timer is the in-game timer the game's running on. It just allows us to keep track of our IGT, which is what we track the game on. And I'm just stuck in this boss fight right now. So hopefully we get the loop here. This is Olga, first boss fight. And we did get the loop, so that's good. We're going to save some time here. So this loop, basically she has to go to the left side of the stack of boards there at the back. And she did that, and then she has to shoot her gun really fast. She needs to have an empty mag by the time she made it to the box front, which she did. And it allows us to shoot 4 headshots at her, which is the quickest. Otherwise, she goes into a mini cutscene. Luckily, we didn't get that. So we're actually zooming right now.
Oh, no dav drop.
No, unfortunately not dav drop. I tried to do a little trick there we call dav drop. It allows us to, we basically hold the square input or X input on an Xbox controller, which is a fire to fire the weapon input. And it, for some reason, just skips a set. It's on a specific set of frames, but it just skips the animation of dropping down. You just drop instantly and save. I think it saves like half a second.
Yeah, it's not a lot, but it's just one of those, oh, neat, thanks, game.
Yeah. We just go for it every time because why not?
You don't lose time for failing it, so.
We've got one of the newer tricks coming up that was found by another great runner, tanker runner in our community called Chewable Prozac, who found this skip for us that saves us 30 seconds, which I'm about to show you right now. It's called the Prozac skip. Lets us skip through this door, and it saves us 30 seconds. And there we go.
We don't have to go through the engine room.
Yep. He found a way to push Snake's hitbox into the trigger behind the door, and the trigger is just bleeding through the door enough that we are able to skip a whole section of the entire tanker.
And it does work with Raiden as well.
Yes.
But Raiden has a PPK as well, because his hitbox for some reason just stretches a little bit further than Snake's.
We technically, as Glenn said, we actually had the ability to do that as Raiden already. So it's been a known trick for years, but we didn't know how to do it as Snake. And we've always talked about getting through that door throughout the years. And then Prozac found a way using a throwable.
But sadly, we can't do it before the Olga fight. But
no.
We need the USP anyway for the Semtex, so it doesn't really matter.
We're still holding out for a big sequence break in MGS2. Unfortunately, this game's pretty much like we got no massive glitches.
Marlon is on the case.
Yeah. We've found a couple
You don't
of
have
new
your
ones.
boba skip yet.
No, unfortunately not.
Like, we
One
have
day.
kind of an idea of where it might be possible, and that's later in the run with the president. With some, with some cheats and some no clipping, we did find out that you could blow up that circuit panel with a magazine if you wanted to. It's just a matter of being
Getting
able to do it.
out of bounds, yeah. We're so close but so far, basically. This is the second glitch we're going to do. It's called ladder glitch. It's going to let us skip to the bottom of the floor without having to go down 2 ladders. It saves 12 seconds. I'm actually going to take the safer route here because I don't trust his shot. Normally, the quicker route would be to basically go past that guy at the projector and make a flick shot. So I would flick Snake's aim and shrink the guard instantly, but it's risky. If you miss, you take a continue. And I don't want to take a continue here, so We're just going to avoid that by running around him. You basically lose no time.
I will never not think that that's
And that is the dominoes. Yep, that was the dominoes guy. As well. That is the dominoes. That is the quickest way to that room. On VE.
Yep.
Right, we're going to take these photos. So, Glenn, do you see the Marines logo we're supposed to take a photo of? Because I'm pretty sure I took one, right?
Yep.
Yeah, there it is, right there. That was the Marines logo right there. You all saw that, guys, in chat. Everybody saw the Marines logo. That was...
Oh, yeah. I
Clear as day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Clear as day, even though the sun's been gone now.
Con will tell us if we got it or not. Let's just see.
He could see it.
Yeah, photos look good.
Sweet.
So when this game was upscaled and ported to PC, obviously resolutions got upscaled because PC can handle way higher resolutions than a console can, especially the original Xbox. They didn't realize that it would just break certain hitboxes. So those photos, their hitboxes are so large that you can just take the photos from the spots that I did and it counts for all 4 photos. So the Marines logo never gets taken a photo. You can actually break the resolutions so high to like 4K and 8K resolutions and super stretched resolutions that you can take all 4 photos from like one spot in the room.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's insane. We don't do it just because, could you imagine looking at like a 39 by whatever resolution? It's just horrible. It's so stretched and so awkward.
That'd be weird looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I speedran this game a lot more consistently many moons ago, I would actually go into OBS and put it in a 4x3 layout just so the game looked correct. Because it was bugging my brain that like the weapons and items icons are stretched too.
Yeah, it is weird. But in that case, 16 by 9, we can just do what we call 2-spot, which you saw me do there. I went to 2 spots in the room and took all 4 photos.
And that also applies on the HD edition as
yes, that does, yeah. Everything that's from this version and on the 2 like HD releases. That text in the bottom, I'll actually explain that as I was explaining about the timer that you see on the screen. That text in the bottom is actually just turbo text. But all that's doing is telling me when I've got turbo on or off. Because we allow turbo to be used for accessibility reasons, as well as it's just handy. We just allowed it. It's basically, it came in because in high difficulties, there's the mash sequence towards the end for the torture sequence. And on like European Extreme, it's like a minute. I think it's a minute and a half flat of just pure mashing.
I think when they released
seconds.
European Extreme, it was like 65 seconds.
Yeah, it's something that no one really wanted to do, and it hurts.
I still don't like doing it.
And a lot of us are getting older, so having turbo is handy. So we just allowed it across the board.
I do love the fact that it says literally spam on the screen. That's just so good.
That is an inside joke. It's long-winded. I won't explain it, but it is an inside joke. Yeah, BMN, the guy that made a lot of tools for us. As you can see, my name on the life bar doesn't say Raiden or Life, as it usually does. It says my name. We can customize our life bar.
Because I've never gotten that to actually work for me.
Yeah, some scripts are a little bit like hit and miss. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But
yeah,
the main ones work, which is good.
The 2 that matter.
Yeah. So we are coming up on the bomb disposal section of the plant. We're now in the second half of the game, the plant section. This is where the most of the game takes place and where most of the time save will be in this run. We're just going to make our way to Steelman to get the coolant, and then we can start the bomb defusal part of the plant. Let's get to all these codecs here. I actually explained, I did do a trick coming out of the tanker. I did do what we call a menu trick. So the game's memory will store stuff in it, and it will store like previously equipped weapons. And so I exited the tanker with the USP equipped. And then when I came to the plant, I picked up the M9 instead of opening the menu to equip it, which wastes time because every time the menu's open, the game pauses. The timer still runs, but the game, obviously gameplay, I can't move. And so without having to open the menu, I could just equip the M9 because the game gets confused. It thinks I've got the M9 and the USP equipped at the same time. So I could just equip the gun and immediately like not have to open the menu and cost myself time. It just recognizes that I've got a weapon previously equipped and carries them. Not close enough to that bomb.
I love the
So it's
fact
just
that right as you went into that whole explanation, you were like doing cartwheels across a bridge, and then you started with, "Oh yeah, I did a trick." Like, was it doing cartwheels across the bridge?
No, unfortunately.
We're doing a trick while Raiden does a trick. It's fine.
But cartwheels are fun.
They're also slightly faster as long as you don't cartwheel into a wall.
Cartwheels are fine as long as you cartwheel on a straight line. If you cartwheel it directly into a wall, you lose 1 second for every like complete stoppage. And if you cartwheel along a wall, because you can slide, you lose like half a second per thing or something like that. We do about 315 to 317 cartwheels total in the run. Like that's the total by the end of it. Yeah. We usually tell like newer runners to like just not do cartwheels. When you're learning this game, don't do cartwheels because you lose a lot of time.
As an experienced runner, I still hate doing cartwheels because even now I still have that really bad habit of cartwheeling into corners.
Oh, you'll see me do it, I'm sure. That's me. I've already done a bunch of like weird ones.
Yeah. But I see we're going for our newest bomb disposal route.
Yep. Doing anti-clockwise. So we're doing anti-clockwise. We're doing anti-clockwise, and we're doing it'll be doing another glitch called conveyor glitch throughout this bomb disposal route. And this actually saves us 2 rooms, I think it is, or 4 rooms. I think it's 2 bridge
Something
rooms,
like that.
and 2 full rooms.
I can't remember. I know Platonix posted it a couple of times.
And on VE, which is the difficulty we're doing, is the most optimal run on this game. It is the board that has the most runners on it, and it is the most optimal. So everything is like about saving. Like if we save half a second, we're happy. That's how optimal it is. If we save half a second in a room, it's crazy. We're all up in arms. We're like, oh my god, we've saved half a second in this room. Like it's
just to put it into perspective, Theory's estimate here is an hour RTA through the Solidus boss fight.
Yeah.
Platonic Guy's current PB, if I remember correctly, is like 1 hour and
2 seconds.
5 seconds. 2 seconds?
Or milliseconds, I think it's like 2.
Yeah, we're down to 1 hour and 2 seconds, so he'll have sub hour by the
We will have a sub hour, which will be a crazy milestone for this run. We've talked about it for years, and it's finally possible.
There's one other way it was possible, and it was really dumb.
Yeah.
We'll know if you do it.
Yeah, I won't be doing that in here. That's for sure. So we've got to take a couple of phone calls here. A couple of codecs. We turbo through the codecs, as you can see. I'm holding 2 buttons down that turbos through the codecs. That's like an optimal way of getting through them. So we just hold down 2 buttons, turbo through. It saves us like mistiming on the triangle press to get the fast one. You'll actually see me do the in-game fast forward on some codecs. Usually codecs, when there's 2 people where the pictures will switch, it's actually still faster to do the in-game codec fast forward, because it's like, I think it's like a frame, but it's basically on frames. It's not like actual seconds faster, but it's faster in frames when it switches pictures. Like that's how optimal this run is, that we will actually do things like that to save frames.
Still boggles my mind that that's the point we're at with this category.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like on this one, I will try and get it. It doesn't always happen, but it's faster for me to do that. Turbo. And you'll notice I got up really quickly there. I've been doing that on all the bomb rooms where I've had to go down. That's called coolant rise. It's basically like a weird animation skip. We stand up when we got the coolant, because we're in first person. We stand up, and immediately as soon as Raiden starts to stand up, we switch to the M9 and go back to third person, and we just skip the animation. Raiden just appears standing up. We don't have to waste time. I need to do this. This is the conveyor skip I was talking about earlier. So we do this, not supposed to get on it, and we just equip the box, and we get fast traveled back to where we need to go.
Nice.
If you do it perfectly, with no mistakes, On VE, it saves a total of 7 seconds, and it just increases as the difficulties go up. So the higher the difficulty, the more time save you get out of it.
Oh, okay.
So, track that guy. We're almost done with the
a camera.
almost done with the bomb disposal section here. Just got this one more bomb to get, which is here. Strut D. I'm just going to flip down. Catch the rail. And it's right here.
Who's there? Who's that?
We're going to spray this guy as we go for the undos.
He's gonna wipe his nose.
Yep, and I'm going to spray him coming back up just to keep him distracted. Otherwise he'll shoot me and I'll lose time. We'll make it through this room.
It's fine.
And there we are. So now we're going to have to make our way to the next boss fight, technically. Although it's not much of a boss fight. It will be the fortune fight. First I got to get
It is
there.
the introduction of my favorite boss music in this series, though.
Yes, Dead Cell Yell is the track. It is a great track.
It's the enemy. I need help.
He needs help, yeah.
So we're going to do another conveyor glitch here, and this is going to take us right back to the strut that we need to be in the first strut, the game strut A. So this skips like 2 full rooms and bridges. We're right back where we need to be. Very handy. Just got to get back on this elevator. We'll go back down. There's a funny thing you can do here. So we have some guy who's not part of the community. It's just some guy who decided to create a mod for MGS2 that uses the camera angle from Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence, or the one that you get in the HD version of Metal Gear Solid 3, the one that's behind Snake. And he made it and ported it to MGS2, but it gives some really weird and unique perspectives that you can't get normally, because the game wasn't designed for that camera in mind. And me and a few others have done a couple of runs on it. And on that lift, when you come down on that elevator and the camera is behind Raiden, his hair is just floating up in the air because of the physics. It's quite funny. It's quite a funny sight. Those luscious golden locks of Raiden, they're just floating up behind him.
So it is a wig.
Yes. Right, we're on the fortune fight. Now, everybody remembers this fight, right? Anybody who's played MGS2. You can't shoot her. She just dodges bullets. They avoid her. This fight's on a rail. Technically, it is, but it's also not on a rail. You can speed this up. And a long time ago, a bunch of runners labbed this out. And they managed to come up with a way to speed up this. I believe it was Tino, an old runner of this game, that managed to figure out the optimal route in this game to get her to speed up this entire fight. You basically want her to just shoot everything in the room. That's why I'm getting her to destroy these boxes. And then these 2 barrels on either side of the room here have to be shot and blown up.
Wow, she actually...
She did. That was nice. That's good. Sometimes she can just not.
She just, yeah.
Yeah, she just doesn't play nice sometimes like that, where she just misses. But this is actually good.
Although I can't say I've ever had her shoot me like that.
She shoots faster the higher the difficulty, so because we're on VE, she's going to shoot the slowest possible speed. Nice. And that's the end of the fight right there. As soon as that roof part falls down, we know that we're going to get a codec and the fight will end. So yeah, we actually got a pretty good fortune there, I think, all things considered, because she can really not play properly with you and just give you bad RNG.
She can really mess up your entire life.
Yeah, and we just did a claymore cancel there, a damage cancel. I walked through the claymore and took no damage because I walked through it as I transitioned through the gate. If you, there are a couple of ways to do a damage cancel against claymores, and that's one of them. If you walk through a camera transition, and hit a claymore, you basically just cancel the damage, and it doesn't knock you. On to the next boss fight already. We're going to another boss fight. We're now going to fight Fat Man. So he's the one that's planting all the bombs around the big shell. and we need to go over there and stop him from planting them. So just backtrack our way to the heliport. And hopefully we get a good pattern on them. A lot of the RNG in this run comes from boss fights for the most part. V is very like execution and movement based, so it's like all about good movement and just executing boss fights. But there is RNG elements. Not many, but it's mainly boss fights. Some of the bosses have annoying RNG elements. Fat Man is one of them, this upcoming boss. He has a bunch of different ways he can go at the beginning of the fight, and if we get a bad pattern, it's just time loss. So hopefully we get a good pattern. I want him to go down this middle lane here that I just cartwheeled through. So we'll hope he goes here. So we're just going to come over here, wait for him to come past. Then we're going to knock him down.
Nice.
Shoot one shot. Spray the bomb. And then we're going to hope he runs down this middle, which he did. And we're just going to shoot him again.
Easy.
Yeah, I got a slow bomb on the second one, but it's fine.
Yeah.
There's a certain distance you need to be away from bombs to get fast freezes on them, which saves time.
That one I've always had issues with, no matter what the difficulty is.
Yeah, it's like it's got a really weird like distance. I mean, you need to be like close enough, but not too close, and then you need to be far enough away.
For
but not
some weird reason, I can only get it to do it when I'm on that side of the bomb.
Yeah, it is.
Like if for some reason I happen to end up on the other side of the bomb, it's just like no.
It's like you need to be it's like bombs have this, like they have 4 corner hitboxes, I believe. Like they have a hitbox on every side of them. And a fast bomb is where you're in a specific spot that you catch all 4 of the hitboxes at one time. And so it's spraying on all 4 hitboxes instead of 1 or 2. And that's what allows you to get a fast bomb. You just have to find the right angle. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. It's no biggie. It's not like loads of time loss. Okay, so defeated Fat Man. See, we've got a BDU now. We've got a uniform, a disguise. We can't use this outside of the shell, but I'm going to put it on to begin with. And we're going to head to shell 1 because we need to go find a guy called Ames. Now, Ames is annoying because Ames on New Game will spawn in the same spot every time. But we don't play New Game because New Game is slower. We can't skip certain cutscenes in New Game. We can't skip a Stillman cutscene that takes 600 years to get through. We play on New Game. The problem with New Game is Ames' position is randomized on New Game. He can spawn in like any number of like, I don't know, like 25 positions.
Wow.
In the game, in this room. And so we just have to basically deal with RNG and hope that we get a good spawn. The best position we can get as soon as we enter the room, he's in the first 4 hostages spawns. That is what we call a God Ames. That is the best possible spawn. Well, hopefully we'll see what happens. I'm hoping for a good pattern. First we got to go pick up a piece of equipment so we can detect him. And then I'm going to set off an alert here. If I can shoot that claymore, because it's faster to get an alert in this room.
Please hold the elevator.
Yeah. Because I blew up an explosive in the elevator. When the backup guards came in, they will go to the elevator. So they'll hold the elevator open because elevators can't close when there are NPCs in them, or if you're inside them, they will never close. So by lighting off, oh, that's funny. I knocked the locker open with him. When I knocked him over. Yeah, the elevator will stay open. As you can see on the mini-map there, my radar, my elevator was open. It means I don't have to wait for the elevator. I don't have to recall it. You just immediately walk in. Go to the next floor. Right, skip this cutscene. And I'm going to knock on this wall. Make that guard come because we need him for the biometric scan here. And then I'm going to unequip both my weapons and choke him immediately into the cutscene. The reason I take the BDU off here is anytime you transition into a cutscene, which will come next when I walk through here, having the BDU on causes the game to load slower. The in-game timer actually doesn't count loads. It's one of the best features about this version of the game, so we don't ever have to worry about loads. But it does, for whatever reason, cause a time loss because of slow loading.
That's an okay Ames, actually. I would take that.
It's actually, yeah, that's a good Ames. Actually, that's like just so. So yeah, it's just like the IGT doesn't care for lag or loads. It doesn't recognize loads, and it doesn't care too much about lag. It will, if you cause lag, it will actually slow down. But if the game takes too long to load, the timer's still running. And cutscenes take a little bit, like a few seconds extra to load if you've got the BDU on when walking into them. So we just take it off.
Extra layers.
Yeah.
I have an unknown target here.
Right. So now we're going to move to the next. We're basically moving to the next boss fight. We need to get to Shell 2. We need to go from this part we're on over to the next shell. There's 2 gigantic hexagons, basically, make up the big shell. We need to cross a bridge to get over to Shell 2, but there is a boss standing in our way, the Harrier. So I need to go grab the sniper rifle from the warehouse, because we're going to need it to take out a few sensors on that bridge. And then we're going to get into the boss fight and hope that I don't miss my shots and actually get a fast Harrier. I'm going to go for a 5+1. And I think Glenn can explain that when we get there, because I will actually have to concentrate.
Definitely something that requires a lot of practice.
Yeah.
A lot of focus, a lot of practice.
So yeah, we just got to make it through a couple of rooms, and then we'll be fine. And, oh, too many cartwheels there.
They didn't think to put another guard on this upper bridge.
No, they didn't actually. Yeah, they put one down the bottom.
That's just Metal Gear guards for you, I suppose.
There is a little time save you can do there on any difficulty actually. If you actually maybe not on V, they might not hear you on V. I can't remember. They probably do though. Is if you shoot as you exit the door, you alert the guard above you, and if you do it at the right time, you don't get the mini cutscene that he gives you because he gets alerted, and it actually causes the backup team to come through the door that I transitioned to at the end of that room. And so the door just opened. You can cartwheel straight through the backup team, knock them over, and go straight into the transition. A little time save. I don't do it because I don't like risking it. But, and I'm...
All right, so before he actually starts and finishes the fight, I guess I could briefly explain. So the Harrier is going to start right above us, kind of slowly descending, and then it's going to take off. So the idea here is to take it 3 lock-on shots, 1 loose shot right as he starts to go forward, and hopefully we get 1 more. Got it. Like that, and just like that, he's down to about 1/4 of his health. So he's going to go immediately into the next phase, which we can go and take what we call die shots, where he's just going to yell die at us. But if we skip this cutscene at the right amount of time, we can actually lock onto him as the cutscene ends, fire off 2 shots, and he is done.
There we go. That is what we call a 5+1. So I made 5 shots at the start and got the +1 to finish him. To get him enough damage to kill him on, as Glenn said, what we call the die shots, where he screams die as he drops bombs. There is an IL strat that is no longer an IL strat. It was for a long time. It was only considered for ILs because it's very difficult. It still is very difficult, but it's a 6-shot Harrier, basically the fastest Harrier you can do. You get 6 shots off the start, which do so much damage that he's basically left with 1 shot left till he dies. I didn't want to attempt that because I'm not very good at it. And I have tried it.
The camera looks weird here.
Yes, it's due to the resolution, it's like half cut off at the bottom for some reason.
Okay, gotcha.
Not to mention that area is notorious if you cartwheel it even the wrong way by looking at it funny. The game decides that parts of the floor just don't spawn. And you just kind of die. I think just about every runner who has ever tried to cartwheel in that room has died there at some point.
Yeah, that's called the leap of faith. And as you can imagine, it's a leap of faith. And we've all, as Glenn has said, anybody that's ever run this game has died there millions of times. It's just misjudged it. Cartwheel too early, cartwheel too late.
Misjudged it, or even right after that, like on higher difficulties, the 2 guards spawn there, where they spawn, and that part of the bridge, if you cartwheel there too, sometimes the floor is just like, no.
Yeah. Yeah, that's called the Raichu special. There is a weird collision issue. When I first dropped down, the first railing I dropped down onto, where the guards come out on the other bridge. If you cartwheel immediately after dropping down, the wall that you cartwheel that you'll automatically roll against because of just the angle of the camera causes your character to be that way, will actually just not have any collision and you'll fall straight through it and die. Take a continue. If you wait just a second and move, like if you move for half a second, as soon as you drop, it just has collision. The collision decides to spawn in. Don't know why. That's just the way they programmed it.
I think it's one of those instances where the game didn't expect you to go there, so it didn't program collision. That seems to be a common thing with early 2000s games.
Yeah.
Which we will see another prime example in this very room soon, TM.
Yes, we will. Not quite yet. Just here to collect the Nakia, but we will have to be coming back here. And we'll be doing...
Look, there it is.
Oh. We'll probably be doing... I'm just trying to think. Probably about the almost final glitch to run. It's only one more glitch to do after that.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Or reminds me a lot of Resident Evil Revelations with the over like the flooded ship and swimming through all these like tight corridors.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very easy for when you're first like learning this run to get confused in that room. I mean, I'm sure anybody that's ever played this back when it, you know, came out, everybody that had a PS2, like I was getting confused where to go when I was like way younger playing this game. I just hated that section because I never knew where to swim. I'd always get confused.
I kind of made like a internal memory to do it. I know a couple of turns because, as I would say it in my brain, turn at the pretty lady, which is just the posters that are on the wall.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I'm
Little
like, yeah,
markers.
that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, whatever works. If that's how I memorized it, that is what it is. And it worked. Now I do swim glitch. I don't need to remember it anymore.
Yeah, we won't... we don't even need to swim anymore for the most part. Or we'll be swimming actually. We just won't be swimming in water for very much.
It's true.
As you'll see coming up. So we need to head back down there. I just got to get through these codecs. As you can imagine, with any Kojima game, it's a movie more than it is an actual game. So we've got so much lore to read about.
So much lore.
It's actually, I'm sure like any of us that speedrun our games the way we do, and for as much as we do, we can, like most of us, can recite the entire like text of this entire game. We can recite the entire scripts, everything, every codec, every
I'm
cutscene.
not gonna, but I probably could. I sat here and thought about it.
Yeah. You hear it so much.
Snake. Are you familiar with the basics of CQC?
Not at all.
Not even a little.
So here is a pretty fun glitch. It's called Swim Glitch. It's going to let us get out of bounds and skip this entire swimming section. And I need to go against this wall, and then I need to tap an input, and I didn't do it properly. I need to tap some inputs in a certain rhythm to get my character, Raiden, to glide up the wall. Like so. And once I'm high enough, I can then push myself up and go straight through because there's no collision on the ceiling because they didn't expect you to be able to.
It's just one of those
I didn't mean to get up
examples.
there. Yep, there we go. Didn't mean to get up. Yeah, and now we're just out of bounds. And we're basically swimming in air.
Like the one game I used to speedrun where that, you know, if the game didn't expect you to be here, so there's no collision, the game that comes to mind is Sonic Adventure 2.
Also, don't blink. That was Vamp 1.
Yeah, Vamp's gone, by the way.
Yep. That was the Vamp fight.
That's as fast as it's going to get. There is a alternative way of having swim glitch and having a similar camera where it just doesn't move if you do it the way it was originally discovered and done. The camera moves all over the place because it's trying to adjust for the different hallways that you're in.
Yeah, when you're not actually in them,
that case.
you're above them, so it doesn't know where to like place it. Eventually, it just corrects itself, and you can see again.
But by then, you may also be halfway across the map. We don't know.
Yeah.
So.
Now we've met Emma. EE.
Hi, Emma.
The most annoying character in this game because we're now on an escort mission. And you know what that means when it comes to speedrunning? That means we can't move
We're going to
fast.
hold hands.
This is actually, the swimming parts of this section is the only time you move the fastest. Because she doesn't hinder you on the swimming. She just sits there on your back. The rest of it, yeah, she slows you down. It's also fun to note in this room, normally we have to hold her hand and take her everywhere. This is the one room we can just run through and leave her. She just spawns in the next room with us. So let's get these long codecs. And now we just have to hold her hand and drag her everywhere. We can do a trick on the upper floor when I get back up there called Emma Zips. It was found by a runner called Miss Chelsea's. She just accidentally she got an alert. She was hiding from the guards and she put Emma near her and she went into first person. And when she came out, she accidentally bumped Emma, like by walking into her, and she just disappeared from the map. She just zipped and just basically didn't exist anymore. And then when she left the room, she just reset in a position that was more advantageous to us. She just spawned across the room where we needed to go to exit the room. And so we labbed it. It probably took about an hour max, and now we figured it out and we can do it. I'm not going to do it because it is execution based and also has some RNG in it, and it's just not worth sitting here not getting it. It doesn't save massive amounts of time. If you do them both, there's 2 zips, one in this upper room that I'm going to get to once I go up the elevator, and there's one on the bridge when we leave this whole section. And the one on the bridge is the harder one to do. It's basically real RNG, whether it happens or not. And it saves 16 seconds if you do it perfectly, so it's not.
If I remember correctly, too, doesn't Windows 11 break the glitch?
Yes, also, it is a Windows 10 exclusive glitch. So that we figured out recently, because it doesn't work on anything else except for Windows 10. We think it might be to do with a weird, like, I don't know, something to do with Windows 10, some kind of like code issue or weird thing that Windows 10.
Microsoft, please.
Yes, that they somehow managed to fix.
Imagine Microsoft patching your 20-something-year-old speedrun.
Oh. Kill that guard because I was a little bit late coming out there.
Windows 11 breaks one other thing in MGS1 as well if you're running the Reddit patch, and it's very late game. I found that out the hard way.
Yes, unfortunately. I guess that's what happens when you run far older games.
Yeah, like it's getting to a point where a couple of us have theorized, well, better get our VMware set.
Oh yeah, Emma was not harmed in the making of this. I did not. You know, she wasn't harmed by the choke. Don't worry. That's what we just do to get her past the bugs, because she won't get past the bugs otherwise. This is also another weird bug. If we just push her through the door, she'll spawn closer to the exit by the bridge there instead of right in front of me. So I just
weird.
went up. Yeah, just put her there. You actually can't do this on the HD version. It is 99% chance that when you do that to her, she will fall through the floor and you'll soft lock the game. And she won't be able to get
You can, yes. I just don't think any of us would recommend it.
Yeah. There's a 1% chance that she won't fall through the floor and soft lock your game. On this version and the original, well, I mean, this is the original, but on like the console versions, it should work. No problem.
I think that has a lot to do with some stretched nonsense.
Yeah, it's probably to do with the, once again, resolution induced bugs.
And then the HD collection said, wait a minute, that's not right.
Yeah.
And then they fixed it, so she'll just fall out of bounds.
I'm not really a fan of the HD version of the game, to be honest. So.
I just can't be bothered to set up PS4 Windows, so that's the only reason I run it. But at least the PC port of the HD, the PC port of the Master Collection has some interesting alt-tab glitching.
Yeah.
They're not particularly useful, but they're funny.
You're actually going to see Emma walk through here. I'm going to drag her hand through the wall, and she's just going to come around with me. Even though I'm not close enough to drag her hand. This is the section where we got downtime. This is the Sniper Twilight sniping. I'm basically just going to be here sniping, so I know you wanted me to hand over to you, Dane. So you've got an entire
Perfect
like 4
timing
minutes.
for lots of things to tell chat. So chat, as a reminder, your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. If you enjoy watching speedruns, consider subscribing to the channel to get access to our emotes, have ad-free viewing, and chat with other subscribers during our replays. Additionally, while we are going through speedy sniping here, if you're not in the official GDQ Discord yet, you should join that and add the hotfix role. That way you can keep up on upcoming events, talk with staff, and more. Use !Discord in chat for more info. And since we're still sniping stuff, as a reminder, if you missed out on any of our shows or past events, like Black in the Flash or the Trans Day of Visibility that just happened recently, or any of the shows from Hotfix, you can visit and subscribe to the YouTube for Games Done Quick, youtube.com/GamesDoneQuick. And if you're watching on YouTube, hello from the past. You should come follow us over at twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick as well. And speaking of hotfix, if you haven't checked out this season's lineup, you can go to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix. Check out the schedule for an in-depth look at this week's runs.
Cool. All good stuff. Yeah, this is the downtime that we get stuck with in this run. We've been trying to find a way to get past this. We've labbed a bunch of stuff. It's, as far as we can tell from the stuff that we've tried, it's just not possible right now. We've even used a trainer to no clip onto the rails here with Emma, and if you push her along, she just goes back to the spot you pushed her from. She's there's flags along the route here as well. There are flags that she reaches, triggers that she reaches. But if you try to push her to them early, she just walks back to the spot you pushed her from and continues walking from there. So you can't speed it up doing that. Hopefully someone finds something eventually. This would be nice. It's like a 4 or 5 minute section that is just unskippable.
You know, I did hear there's still an active bounty on that.
I think there is. Yeah, we've had active bounties on a bunch of stuff. So there's cash up for grabs.
Net yourself a few $100. Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
How close are you to finding something for that?
Not for this section, but that president section that Glenn mentioned earlier. We literally just need to find a way to get out of bounds, and we can skip that whole section. It would save something like 1.5 minutes.
Oh wow!
We've got everything else. We can get into the president's room out from out of bounds, and we can destroy the panel without having Nikita. So if we find a way to skip the Nikita by getting out of bounds early and getting into the president's room, then we're saving 1.5 minutes at minimum. With that
and
close,
that's confirmed. That's not theory.
That is the closest thing we've. Yeah.
We have.
I was just going for a pun there, but sure.
Yeah. We have used no clip or the train. We have a trainer that was developed by BMN for us, so we could practice basically a practice tool that we could reload rooms and give ourselves all the weapons and stuff. And I forgot about that guard that will be there. Yeah, Emma, that's going to slow down, unfortunately. She won't move now. I forgot about the guard that spawns on the bottom as well. She'll get up and move in a minute. It just means we've lost a little bit of time. Yeah, as I was saying, yeah, we've got a practice tool and we have gone out of bounds using that. So everything we need to do legit, obviously because we're not allowed to use that tool in runs because that would be cheating, just for practice and things. Everything that we need to do, we can do for real without cheating once we get out of bounds. So it would all be correct and it would be viable. We just have to find a way to get out of bounds, and we haven't found a way to do that yet.
Not
Marlon the kind of out of bounds we need.
Marlon found a neat little way to get out of bounds in that room, but not a way to get out of bounds outside of that room to get into that room.
Yes. Yeah, we need one outside the room.
Very frustrating. It is amazing how quote unquote well put together this game is, and I say that loosely. Smiley face.
Yes.
Nice.
This game and MGS4 are surprisingly well put together as far as sequence breaking.
This one, in comparison to MGS1, which is only a few, this came a few years after MGS1. MGS1 was 1998. This game, the original Sons of Liberty, came out in 2001. So it's just literally 3 or 4 years difference, and this game is just completely different to that. MGS1 is just broken beyond belief. This game, not so much, unfortunately.
Yeah. Even it's just wild that MGS3 can be more broken than this is.
Yeah. The MGS3 is a whole different ball game because that game has a lot of glitches, none of which are basically none of which are useful in the speed run. There's a handful of them
Unless you're
that are
playing the
useful.
MGS2 version.
Yeah, there are a handful of them that are useful in that game, but they are all like platform specific. They can't even be done on every version of the game. So.
Speaking of, we have Delta coming out soon. How excited are you both for that?
It will be interesting. We'll be looking at it. We will be looking at it.
I don't
I can't
doubt that at all.
respond because my response is a clip.
Also, that was Vamp 2. Both Vamp fights, you just can't blink. They are the most trivial things in the game. They're not really fights. Well,
For the record, the clip is Master Oogway from Kung Fu Panda saying monkey because I've never actually played Snake vs. Monkey.
true.
The substance disc subsistence disc I ended up with was used, so it didn't come with the extra disc.
That's unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, wait, disc 1, where's the rest of it?
Yeah. I mean, well, I'm interested to see what Delta brings. Personally.
We'll see. It's just like anything else. I'm approaching it with a smidge of caution.
Yeah. We'll see what's changed.
And it didn't help with the state that the Master Collection released in. So
Yes, I didn't release in a very good state. We did
it
a
was
lot of testing
playable,
when
but it
those came
wasn't
out.
great.
They were just, casually, kind of. I mean, MGS1 casually, I wouldn't even suggest, even from a casual standpoint.
I mean, if you really don't like emulation, I guess it's fine. But
yeah.
other than that, there are a million
Better versions.
there are a million more respectable ways that game can be preserved and played. But sadly, Konami disappointed me. I've still, to this day, not actually played the Master Collection of MGS1.
Remember me, don't you?
Yeah, I haven't.
You've grown.
I just
not
saw
even
it and
saw
I'm
it.
like, this is sad.
This torture sequence is a fake torture sequence. You don't have to do anything here. You cannot die. You don't take any HP.
Oh.
It's basically just a tutorial for the actual upcoming real one. You just don't. You can touch stuff. You can mash. You can practice mashing here. It doesn't matter. You won't lose any HP. It's just a tutorial, just for fun. Okay, so we're on the final part of the game. We're in Arsenal gear. This is literally the final, last 20 minutes of the game. Not even that, 15 minutes of the game.
Oh, heck yeah.
So,
I suppose, for the record, for those who wish to preserve their innocence, please shield your eyes for the next 2.5 minutes.
yeah, Raiden will be naked. He is covering himself, so don't worry, but he will be naked.
This is true.
We have no gear for the next 2 rooms.
We have a dog tags,
Yes.
so we can't hang. We can't choke guards out. Not that we need to. Yeah, this is the short but unskippable streaking section.
Yes.
Of which
And I
there's an
actually
entire VR
made a
segment
codec
around.
call there to Rose because she normally rings you. If you just wait, she'll ring you after a certain amount of time. But we can just call her early and skip that and get out quickly.
Nice expedition.
So we're going to take a codec call here. This is actually time-based, this entire section, this part of the section. I need to get past this guard like that before he turns.
Very nice.
If I don't answer that codec on the stairs, basically frame perfect, then I don't get that timing. And that guy turns around, sees me,
very hard.
knocks me, and it's not the end of the world.
Pretty good chance you're taking a fall of shame there
Yeah.
over that big gap. So because Raiden can barely make it over that gap.
This room is very interesting. So this room is kind of weird because we actually need to move away from the door that I entered. If we don't, it's slower. The codecs come in slower. They take longer to come in. So it's just you need to be away from the point that you enter this room in. So around this spot, you don't want to be too far north or too far south. You just need to be halfway between them. And now we get our gear back. No more naked riding. Snake has turned up. He's going to chuck us our gear. We're going to put it on.
Excellent. Thanks, Snake. It was cold.
Yeah. And then we're going to get the little tutorial section of the sword. I'm going to swipe here because there is an internal timer that you can't see. We actually can see it with live split. Thanks again to BMN. He did make a auto splitter for us for live split, and it has a lot of extra features. We can get readouts from it. One of which is, so there's 2 sections in this game that have an internal timer that are invisible without the live split auto splitter add-on. and it is 45 seconds from the time that you swipe. If you don't swipe your sword, this section will end eventually, but it will take like a lot more time. It would be like minutes of time. So as soon as you swipe once, that 45-second timer starts, and then we just run north to be further away from the middle of the room. So you have to swipe. It's not told you this, obviously, casually. Like they just don't say anything about this, but there is an internal timer of 45 seconds.
I think they just presumed that the player
That you
was
would
going to
swipe.
practice with a sword
Yes.
because you've literally never had a blade in the series until now.
Yeah. And it's like, everybody was like, oh my god, we get a blade. This is cool. And
there's a reason we don't get it any earlier. It's actually busted.
yeah. I think someone made a mod that actually does work, but it takes a lot to get working.
I don't have that kind of patience.
And I'm going to kill these, and then I'm going to do punch, punch, kick, and then let go on the kick, and it's going to push me through the door. So I'm going to skip that whole section.
Classic.
Otherwise, we're going to be sat there waiting for that door to get unlocked.
The classic method.
And now we're on what we call Tengu 2. That was Tengu 1 just a minute ago. And then we're on Tengu 2. On VE and Easy, we have to do it this way by just killing a certain amount of Tengus on screen. So they'll keep spawning to a certain degree. And we need to kill, I think on VE, it's something like 20 or 40 something Tengus. That's between me and
chunk.
Snake. That counts Snake's kills as well. So Snake adds to that. So between me and Snake in this room, we have to kill a certain amount of time. And that just increases based on difficulty all the way up to European Extreme, which I think European Extreme is like 100 and something Tengus. So I'm just going to sit here and I'm just going to turbo my stinger into this doorway and hope that none of them escape through it. Because sometimes they slip past. So far, so good, though. I'm halfway through the fight. When you get this second fish and mailed screen, that lets you know that you're pretty much towards the end of the fight. You're like halfway through. And that was pretty fast.
Easy clean.
On normal and
Fish and
above,
mail.
we actually do a trick that was found. Well, it's been known for a while, but we never got it to work anywhere outside of console until, I don't know, like a year ago. And we use a trick called coolant skip. And we basically trank Snake. So this is from normal difficulty and above. You trank Snake immediately after the start of the fight. And then you run back to the door you came in, stand on a certain part of the floor, and you just spray the Tengus with the coolant. And if we use turbo, like we do on PC, you never run the coolant out. It'll just stay. You just go back and forth, left and right. And you do that for about a minute 5 to a minute 10, and the section will just end. It's almost like a feature to stop it from soft locking if you don't kill any Tengus or trank any Tengus.
Game C's guard from first wave goes, what the actual heck are you still doing here? End fight.
Yeah. It's just like, I guess you did the fight. Cool.
Congratulations.
We actually have no idea why it does it. We've even looked at a debugger while it was happening, and it still has like no real clue why it does it.
MGS4 even has something similar towards endgame, which is frog skip, but you just keep one of the frogs awake and just keep throwing smoke grenades at her. The fight will just end for no reason. It's the same idea. Like,
Yeah.
what?
This is also the second section of the game that has an internal timer. So I can open the menu here. This section will continue because it's got an internal timer. You can't pause
Some
it.
people like to PPK and get Raiden to just hold his leg up for eternity.
So now we got the rave fight. On VE, this rave fight is very easy. I shoot 2 stingers. I move here. Oh, I missed. Don't worry. I missed this guy. I was supposed to hit him in the face. It's normally very easy. It just takes me hitting these 3 rays and then we're done.
The Rays are defeated.
Cool. And now we're on the choking section.
The Arsenal AI is corrupted beyond repair.
Don't die.
I admit that I underestimated you.
Choking section, yeah. Hopefully not.
I'll squeeze the answers out of you instead.
On VE, this is really easy. You don't even need turbo for this. You can press triangle or Y on an Xbox controller about 10 times and then just take all the rest. Like, you can let him choke you down. You'll never die if you, like, stop him from doing it. If you, like, just mash, like, 10 buttons. I mashed it, like, 10 times, let him choke me, and you just can't die.
You know he doesn't know anything.
I wouldn't try that on high difficulties, though. Don't. Just mash or use turbo. Otherwise, you might end up dead. And that's the torture sequence. We're now on the final boss fight. Time will be coming up on the final hit of this fight, obviously. So we'll just call it when it comes up. It's not a long fight on me, so. This is probably the longest codec in the game, though. So we are going to be sat here for a little while.
Kojima's ending cutscenes are long. No way.
Yeah.
Kojima's
talking about-
cutscenes are long.
Yeah, it's true. Everything's long in his game. His games are long.
Phrasing.
Talking about how the Patriots, control information and blah, blah.
I still think it's funny that this version has the graphical glitch where you don't see the Colonel's skull.
Yeah.
Like, it's just he loses his eyes and that's it.
So in this fight on V, I'm just going to walk back far enough so he shoots his rockets, and then I just cartwheel him. I'm going to cartwheel far enough away so we get a short dash, which saves time.
There we go.
As he goes into the
Nice.
cutscene. You have to be far enough away from him, otherwise he'll dash towards where I'm at, and it'll just take longer because he has to go across the roof.
Yeah, no matter what I seem to do most of the time, he just does not go to the other side.
Yeah, he can be uncooperative.
long.
Same as in these sections.
Get the people's elbow. We
Nice.
did.
That's good. That's a fast one. I want him to basically kick me or elbow me. Because if he attacks like that, it's slower. But that's fine. And
But-
that's done.
GG's.
Yay.
And it will show me my ending time. So my entire ending time is 103.14,
Do you
thanks to
remember this
the immense tools. And it tells me my final hit. It's 53.52.
bad.
first met.
No, that's a good time, actually. Really good time.
now.
Hold on. So, did you have any
yeah.
shout outs you wanted to give and any plugs you wanted to pitch for the folks watching?
Yeah, just general shouts. General shout out to MGSR. Like I think I said, if you're looking to learn these runs, jump into the Discord. We got a wiki, we got loads of info, we got loads of runners that are willing to help. Just ask. No question is beyond asking in there for anything, even down to the littlest things. Someone will probably know it and will be willing to help you. And shout out to GDQ and Hotfix for having me on. It was kind of a last minute thing. Dane was looking for a gap and I thought I'd throw my hat in. So thanks for having me.
Yeah,
you enjoyed.
Threw it in with a great run. So this was a lot of fun to watch, and I'm glad we were able to kind of fill out a whole show with Metal Gear Solid because I know how beloved this series is, and I figured people would enjoy this one. So thank you for jumping in and showing this one off.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, folks, all good things must come to an end, and so too it must be that Crosshair comes to an end this evening. But fear not, because the GDQ Hotfix, which is also a good thing, is not over yet, because coming up next we have speedruns from the crypt, so stick around for some spooky speedruns. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode of Crosshair with, I'll just be real with you, a personal favorite of mine. And with that said, folks, no matter what your dreams, goals, or hopes are in this world, always keep them in your crosshair. We'll see you next time.